already have a bilateral relations with Haiti. All that needs to be done now is for Haiti to make a request to Kenya, and the mission will go ahead. So that mission can go ahead as soon as next week if all the paperwork is done between Kenya and Haiti on the bilateral route that has been suggested by the court.
All right, welcome back. Now, Chairman, tell me, what is the bilateral relation between Kenya and Haiti?
Before I get there, first of all, listening to Prof, you get a feeling that our officers are totally incapacitated, which is, I mean, it's unfair. His criticism is okay, but also let's give credit where it's due. What is happening, Prof, in Haiti is a matter of these gangs. It's just implement, what is it called, security law enforcement is the issue that is happening. These are 200 gangs. We have dealt with gangs in this country. We've dealt with Chinkororo, we've dealt with Mungiki, we've dealt with many, many gangs in this country, and our police have been able to quell those gangs, even though there are few that are coming back.
Have the gangs in the country ever killed 5,000 people, as reported?
These are kidnappings that are happening
but also killings
in Haiti. That's what I'm saying. But is it not fair then? Actually, that paints the situation of Haiti, and I like you say that. It tells you that Haiti needs support now. Other than the semantics of law, this country should be able today to deploy our officers and
go and help. Are you saying we suspend
people.
our law so that we can go to Haiti?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying all these we are discussing. I mean, for the last half an hour,
our laws are not semantic.
We've just been skirting around the issue of legality and what have you. But in all honesty, the question is, does Haiti need the presence of our police officers to get rid of the gangs? You know, with the situation that is painted, there are probably many people don't understand. Children don't go to school. That's number one. There is no business that is working. People are dying from diseases. This is a country that has done humanitarian efforts elsewhere, even from countries where they are not directly from African descent. What is wrong in assisting one of our own? What is wrong in going to Haiti? So other than all these other issues of constitutionality, which the president perfectly says that we will look into it and we will, make sure that we conform with what the law wants, I don't see a problem in deploying our officers.
Can I have a quick agenda?
And there is no country that today you can say has enough ratio of police to the population.
I want to have a quick agenda. You've asked a very fundamental question. What is wrong? There is everything wrong with us being picked. And I think Prof has painted a very clear picture that even in terms of our own image as a country, what is wrong? Yeah. I don't like the fact that it is America that is actually pushing Kenya to go to Haiti. Prof has given you a quick history. America was there, the French were there, the Canadians were there, Brazilians were there, and they never quelled this problem in Haiti. You've also said that even us here in Kenya, we don't really have enough police service within our own communities. And this is part of the problem for me, is the fact that this push is actually making Kenya look like a puppet of the United States of America. And one of the things that has been cited, Mheshimiwa, and I'm sure guys will not tell you, is the pronouncement by our president to support Israel for the genocide it's committing in Gaza. Yeah? Because America is supporting Israel. That an African country like ours can actually, our president can actually publicly pronounce that they're supporting Israel. It's a shame for us because
I don't remember where the president has
the president said it. It's on record. I mean, we can search the internet now. The internet never lies. The president said they support Israel. So this is what is making Kenya look like we are just being controlled by the United States. And remember, this request, this so-called request, quote-unquote request, came as a result of President Ruto and meeting President Biden. And exactly 1 hour after the UN Security Council, the Security Council passed that resolution, exactly 1 hour thereafter is when our president made the pronouncement. There's every reason to say that this mission is wrong from all fronts. And this is why today, even the question of money is on the table. It is said that our government has already pocketed money.
Let's get serious, Dr. Ari. I mean, $100 million is not even enough to deploy these officers. It is a very, very small amount, looking at what is needed for officers.
What's your response to what people are saying?
Those are allegations.
Money actually exchanged.
All sorts of stories will be thrown around just to malign the process.
So, Chairman, I asked a specific question. The President is speaking about that we already have bilateral relations with Haiti. What are those relations, and how do countries relate with Kenya?
On this particular one, we do not have any agreement. I don't want to. We could be having several other bilaterals that I'm not aware between Kenya and Haiti, but on this particular one, and that is why even the judge has ruled that we do not have a reciprocating agreement with Haiti. And that is why, even if you heard the president, what he said is that we are now going to hasten the process to allow Haiti to request officially from the Kenyan government.
You're not aware of any official relations between Kenya and Haiti?
There are so many bilaterals that are done with bilaterals and multilateral agreements that are done every day by the Kenyan government. I'm not aware of what will have any bilaterals that will have been done
I want to hear
by Kenya. But on the specific case of a reciprocating agreement between the Kenya government and the police and the Haiti government, we
There's
don't.
none.
Okay. All right. Chairman of Foreign Affairs Committee, not aware of any agreement, bilateral
on this particular
issue of Haiti. Prof, do we have any, but also how do countries relate with Kenya bilaterally?
Well, there's one-on-one legitimate governments talking to each other through their officials. And if they are friendly, they will agree. Each of them knows what the core interests are to be protected so as not to sacrifice core interest in exchange for peripherals. So the legitimacy of the government is key to the relation, because then otherwise it will make no sense at all. And right now we have questions of Haiti. The legitimacy is an issue. The fact that it is not capable of being the government is another matter. It has a neighbor, the Dominican Republic. They share an island. And the friction between Haiti and the Dominican Republic is very high. So if you are going to go there, also take into account the Dominican Republic, because it cannot be ignored. It is, and they have some sort of a serious hatred going around. The Dominicans hate the Haitians in that. So the legitimacy of the governments, the people in government, is critical to the development of relations among the particular states. And especially when they are very far apart, thousands of miles away, it becomes kind of tricky on how one goes about it. Because if there's no direct connection, we have our problems in Somalia here and our East African community. And it is not necessarily true that our police are doing a good job at home to be able to go and do something else somewhere else. Because we have all these things we keep on hearing about Lamu. We have problems in some valley somewhere. We have problems in the north, bandits who seem to be free to roam around and they are not contained. So the question comes up, do our leaders have their priorities right? Mm-hmm. I think, unfortunately for President Ruto, he has appeared to be too quick to make pronouncements that tend to backfire after the fact. Maybe his advisors, including the chairman of the parliamentary committee, need to ask him to slow down before making commitments that then become questionable. And the Haitian commitment appears to be one of those decisions that was done in a hurry and therefore detrimental to the national interest, and a way should be found out of getting out of it in a respectable way. And there are ways of getting out of it. And I think the court has tried its best to give a way out, because this is a disaster in the making.
I have a question, sir.
Disaster in the making. Just a moment, Dr. But Prof, still on that question of bilateral relations, is it a must for governments that have those relations to also have missions in either countries?
Repeat the question. To have missions in other countries?
Yes. For instance, you have an embassy, a Kenyan embassy in Haiti or a Haitian embassy in Kenya. Is it a must?
Yes. Well, it is appropriate. And actually, countries that don't have diplomatic connections have problems relating, because in what way are they relating? And in this, we have no embassy in Haiti. They have no embassy here. We have sentimental attachments, mainly historical, because Haiti was the first colony to attain independence, and it was run by slaves. The slaves beat up the French to get independence, and that pride. And after that, what happened is that there was a concerted effort by the United States and France to pulverize Haiti in such a way that it can stop being a bad example, that it can inspire other people to fight for independence. That happened. Now, to that extent, we have some sentimental relationship. And especially some of them, they think of the Mau Mau as a very good connection. But we did, unless you have embassy representation, diplomatic representation, it's very difficult to say that you have a relationship. So the relationship with Haiti from the Kenya angle is non-existent until now, because it has not been there. And then the way it comes up is negative, not positive. And we would like to see that kind of thing be worked out in such a way that it becomes positive, rather than the negative that it appears to be at present.
I have a question.
Okay, Doctor, you have a question?
I have a question, and I think either Prof or actually I'd like Mwesh to answer this. In the so-called reciprocity agreements between Haiti and Kenya, even if they're going to try and manufacture them, which I think is what is going to happen, as President William Ruto said. What is Kenya getting from these reciprocity agreements?
Honestly,
because reciprocity basically means, wait, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. In plain, simple, definition. That's what it means. So what is it that we are getting?
First of all, if we are going to sign bilaterals, or if there are any bilaterals that are existing, let me tell you that Haiti is an extremely rich country. It's a country that is blessed with numerous minerals, gold, silver. There is the one that we were just mentioning that is used even in manufacturing uranium that is used in manufacturing of aeroplanes. So those are some of the things that we benefit. But even beyond the direct benefit, we are humans. It is our responsibility as a community of nations to make sure that for as long as our brothers are not at peace, then we are also not at peace. It is the responsibility of every nation to make sure that there is peace in our society, our global society. Kenya stepped forward as that country that wants to join the rest of the world in bringing peace in that part of the world, Haiti. Like I said before, these are our brothers, these are people of African descent, these are human beings. It is only human to make sure that we are able to restore peace. And today, what will be said if Kenya was that country that was going to return normalcy in Haiti? I'm sure this country will be one of those countries that will be hailed for having succeeded where many have failed.
Okay.
I just, before you ask me the question,
go ahead.
It is also important that we have our facts right. Even when we talk about our global phenomenon, what is happening probably in Israel, just to correct Daktari, President William Ruto has never in any way sided with Israel. So just to correct before we continue, on 1st of 2024, February, the president on his Twitter account, official Twitter account, said, I have had a telephone engagement with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, and I have expressed Kenya's concern over the deteriorating situation in Gaza, where loss of lives has reached unacceptable levels. I underscored Kenya's belief in two-state solution that will allow peaceful side-by-side existence of the state of Israel and Palestine. I'm hopeful of an immediate end of conflict in Gaza.
But the same president, let me get you the date, 7th of October 2023, stated that Kenya joins the rest of the world in solidarity with the state of Israel and unequivocally condemn terrorism and attacks on innocent civilians in the country. The people of Kenya and their government hereby express deepest sympathy and send condolences to the families of all victims. We also wish a speedy recovery to the injured.
Which date was that?
But I'm not surprised.
7th October.
I'm telling you, this one is first of February 2024.
I'm telling you, 7th October 2023, as soon as the attacks between Israel and Gaza started.
Yeah, but I mean, from where I sit, I don't see how a president will take sides with one country.
Okay, honestly. Let's say he's not taking side, but he is double speaking. On one hand, he says this, which is true. On the one hand, he says this.
So now back to your question. What was the question again?
No, I just want to hear what Prof has to say in regards to that particular matter. That point of confusion, because this was 7th of October that the president released a statement, and I'm reading from his X account, but also spoke in 2024. What does that say?
Well, it is true that he made that statement on October 7th, sounding like in league with Joe Biden, because the statement was almost similar. Full support for Israel to do whatever it wants in response to the attack.
Yeah.
A few months later, the global tide has shifted to the point where whatever Israel is doing is now highly questionable. And this was highlighted by the case that South Africa brought, accusing Israel at the International Court of Justice, accusing Israel of intending and doing things that were genocidal against the people of Gaza and the Palestinians. And the global image of Israel and the West has suffered a lot because it's no longer simply the victim, the moral victim or whatever. It now appears like the perpetrator. And when President Ruto was speaking, he's speaking now after this change of global perspective, such that we have seen demonstrations everywhere. People are saying, whatever the argument, this cannot be allowed to go on. And you keep quiet because it's wrong. And so the geopolitical environment has shifted. And credit to President Ruto, he has noticed that. So he has joined the rest of the world in saying that something is wrong with what Israel is doing in Palestine, in Gaza.
That's not true.
So
Prof.
that's what has happened.
Prof,
Yeah.
on 7th, the attack had just happened. There had not been retaliation. And that is why that statement. That is the exact day that the attack happened. So there had not been any retaliation.
Yes, that's true. But you also, when you investigate a little bit, that attack was not necessarily surprising, given the information that's available, that actually the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, had been involved in providing resources to the Hamas from Qatar and other places. So whatever was happening there, they knew it. And the question that comes up, why did this happen? It cannot be that totally surprising if the Prime Minister was involved in helping Hamas to gain resources or ability to do things, if that's what happened. So it was surprising to the rest of the world, yes, but it was not necessarily surprising to people who should know or who knew, because that's the information that's coming up, the provocation, or whatever one may call it. Yes, the attack was on the 7th, and it was devastating. And yes, the president made his statement following that, just like Biden did, and the other leaders of the West did. So it was in that light. And yes, the retaliation came later, and it has had its effect in terms of turning the world attention against the killings.
All right, Prof. I want us to conclude on the question of Haiti, because Prof says we should get back, get away from that mission as fast as possible. Dr. here does not think we should even be stressing ourselves on matters Haiti. The president says that it's just a matter of days and bilateral relations will be signed. It's just a bit of paperwork. What would be the next steps?
Just like
because you appear to suggest that the Haiti mission should succeed.
It should succeed. And it's nothing to do with America or any other nation. It was the United Nations. And I believe, what Dr. even off the record was suggesting, is that we now do it proper. Make sure that we have that agreement in place, the bilateral agreement between these two nations. The judge, in his judgment, prescribed that it was not prohibiting the deployment of our officers, but had was against the way it was section Article 240 of the Constitution was used, and now was saying that we make sure that we align it to National Police Service Section 107, 108, and 109.
Okay, let me be specific. So already there appears to be an appreciation here that there's no reciprocal authority in Haiti.
Absolutely.
So how do you get that done? How do you make sure there's a reciprocal authority in Haiti?
So I am sure there are things that are happening behind the scene, and I'm sure the government of Haiti, the existing government, where the Prime Minister Ariel is in charge, will write to the Kenyan government requesting that an agreement is signed, a reciprocating agreement between these two nations. There's no two-way about this. We must conform with what the Constitution says, and of course, what the courts have held. So it is proper that we do it right, or else again we end up in court and we end up losing what we'll have wanted to do.
But you see, Chairman, it's not just about the Prime Minister writing to requests. Section 107 still talks about the president being satisfied that the law of that country contains provisions reciprocal to this part. So there has to be a law in Haiti that is containing content that is consistent with this.
What happens where there is no respect of law? The United Nations steps in. The United Nations is the one that actually, in the United Nations General Assembly, requested Community of Nations to come and assist in restoring peace in Haiti.
Can we go to Haiti based on Section 107 of the National Police Service Act?
From where I sit, and I think that is the only way out.
No.
But you just told me that there's no... The words that you used.
The motion of, first of all, triggering this conversation was done by a letter written to the United Nations General Assembly by the Prime Minister of Haiti. It is from that motion done all these conversations.
He has no such powers.
He's having
She has no such powers.
Away from the letters, you're talking about there has to be a law in Haiti that contains a part that is consistent with this part here in the Kenyan law. And you just said that in a non-functional country, you cannot have such kind of laws.
I'm sure the nations now agree that the existing structure of governance, the Prime Minister that is sitting there now, has the authority to do that.
Actually, no, he does not. He does not have the authority, especially under the Constitution of Haiti. In fact, the fact that we do not even know there is I don't know what we call it, whether it's a police act in Haiti or not, that we can actually mirror to 107, so that we can say, let's now invoke 107, but that 107 must be read together with a similar section in Haiti, so that our president must be satisfied. I'm sending my policemen, police women, to Haiti, but they'll be governed by a similar law as ours in 107. That is not there. We don't even know there's a law. Secondly, even if today there was a bilateral agreement, Mheshimiwa, you know, it requires ratification as per the Constitution of Haiti by a parliament in Haiti. There is no parliament in Haiti. So who are we signing this bilateral agreement with? And I keep on repeating, Mwesh, the only person who can write requesting such, assistance is the president of Haiti, elected, heading a government. We don't have a government in Haiti today as we speak.
Okay.
Ariel Henry is ruling by decree. And I will not end this debate without really pointing out the people who have caused the problem in Haiti. The so-called gangs that we are supposed to go and extinguish are actually armed from the United States of America through Florida.
Yeah.
You know, so why is Kenya getting into a mess that's being created by somebody else when we ourselves are struggling with our own security situation?
All right. Prof, what's your closing remark? Because you already said that we should get out of this as fast as possible, but are there any chances that we can make it right differently?
Maybe if you change, as the judge was saying, change it from the sending the police, which is illegal in itself, and maybe use the more experienced peacekeepers in the military who are used to that. Maybe, but that will not make it right, because in principle, it was wrong from the beginning. And that cannot be changed by changing the police with the military, with the soldiers, because it should be just with the law. And Kenya should start getting its credibility back into place, because right now it has no credibility on this matter.
Wow. And obviously, Chairman, that would mean then the decision by the United Nations Security Council on the 2nd of October would have to be amended, because it speaks about police force. Police officers. If we're to follow the route suggested by Prof of defense forces.
Defense forces, again, will not apply, because like I said earlier, the problem in Haiti is not is actually law enforcement. So deploying of defense forces.
Why don't we talk about a peace mission?
Is peace mission possible?
Because we have had many countries emerging from conflict, and I mean, we have UNMISS in South Sudan, we had UNMIL in Liberia. These are countries that emerged from war. So you send a UN mission instead of saying this I don't know, what's the word?
Multinational
security. You know, Sam, let's just go. My honest advice to President William Ruto and solicitors may be is drop this thing. Wachana nae, because it won't really work. It's against
that is a defeatist.
It's against our law. It's against our constitution. Like Prof said, from the very beginning, it was wrong the way we went about it. And Mwesh, we are a country of laws, as you know. You are a legislator yourself. You know, if you make laws, let's follow them. Either the spirit of it, at least, or even the letter. And my proposal, honestly, is that should President William Ruto be hell-bent on sending our police officers to Haiti, my team and I were discussing this afternoon, my legal team, that we are ready to open private prosecution against each and every one of the officers, of the officials of government involved. Remember, Justice Muta said, no organ of government should even attempt to send those police officers to Haiti. If they do, it will be a nullity from the very beginning. So as we are prepared to even go the private prosecution route, to make sure we prosecute anybody who takes such action. And to the police officers, I will suggest this to them. Don't go and get killed and come back in coffin. I don't wish anybody death, but this is likely to happen. We are talking about a country that has killed 5 or 4 of its presidents, you know? So, police officers going there, if I were police officers, I will defy this command. They will fire you. We'll be more than happy to give you pro bono legal services. Using the letters of the law to extinguish humanity is irresponsible.
Now, you have to end it there. Article 43, Article 3 of the United Nations Charter under Chapter 7 requires that agreements such as the Kenyan mission to Haiti shall be subject to ratification by the signatory states in accordance with their respective constitutional processes. The constitutional process is what is provided in the Constitution, but also in sections 107 and 108 of the National Police Service Act. The court found they are not unconstitutional and therefore should be followed for this police mission to be deployed to Haiti. I have to thank you, Chairman, Defense Foreign Relations Committee, Nelson Koech, Dr. Ekuru Kot from Third Way Alliance Kenya, and Professor Macharia Munene from the USIU for making time for us of this conversation. My name is Sam Gituku. See you again some other time. Bye for now. Good night.